Okay, so hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Instahyre Roundtable. This is a place where ideas and leaders meet. Today's agenda is very special, and we have today a very pertinent problem in hand, which is beyond competition, nurturing high performance culture and how to do it. And today with me, we have leaders from Deutsche Bank and Athena BPO to discuss with us about this issue of beyond competition, how to nurture high performance cultures. So before we start, a little bit about Instahire, what we do. So we are a platform which allows companies to find talent with 10x more accuracy and 10x less time. We work with around 30,000 plus Fortune 100 companies, startups, MNCs, very large ones like Amazon, PayPal, Oracle, to very, very fast growing startups in India. So, without much delay, let's start off our discussion. So, today we have two leaders, as I already spoke. Uh, so, let me introduce to you Jyoti Panda, who is the head of recruitment and L&D, learning and development at Athena BPO. So, welcome to the team, to the discussion, and a little bit brief about yourself for our audience.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. This is Bisujyoti. I basically started my career in a completely different field in sales and business development. Spent around 25 years in that, and then made a strategic shift to HR and talent acquisition. And I basically belong to Orissa, but currently living and working in Mumbai.
Okay. Welcome, Biswajiti, to the discussion. We will have a great one. And now, let me introduce to you Faiza Sheikh, who is the talent acquisition specialist at Deutsche Bank. So, Faiza, a little bit about yourself and what Deutsche Bank is doing, something exciting. Can you just throw some light on this?
Sure, Sarvajit. Thank you, first of all, for your warm welcome. Yes, hello everyone. My name is Faiza Sheikh, and I'm currently working with Deutsche Bank. I come with around 10 years of working experience, majorly into top MNCs, banking, and IT sector, product based IT sector. So, yeah, this is a bit about me. Looking forward for the questions, and here we go.
Okay, great having you guys. And let's start off the first question. I will first start with Biswa. So, Biswa, in your view, what are the key cultural shifts companies should embrace to foster like high performance without like fostering cutthroat competition within?
Uh, Very pertinent question, Sharbajit. I would say that we have definitely a few components which organizations should look at if they actually want to foster a high performance environment in the organization. The very first thing which I would say which is required would be autonomy. And when I say autonomy, it is important for us to see that we give the employees an opportunity to work independently, to nurture their ideas, to inculcate that belief in them that they can nurture their ideas, they can execute their ideas, they they can get into experimentation. So employee autonomy and at the same time, it's not only giving them the independence, we need to empower them also with the requisite tools, with the requisite support which is required for them to operate the way they want to. And see, it is, and along with that, automatically, when we say that we are empowering someone and we are allowing them to work in an autonomous manner or an independent manner, which means that the top management of any organization needs to also trust them. We need to inculcate a lot of trust in those employees, and we need to believe in them that yes, they would succeed and they would be able to do something new. And the second most important factor, which I feel, is communication. And when I say communication, it is so we give them the freedom to work independently, but at the same time, that does not mean that when they are working independently or we're giving them the freedom to work independently, we leave them the way they want to work. There has to be a support, there has to be guidance. If required, there has to be a mentorship coming in from the top level of management. And we need to communicate with them freely, and the communication has to be two-way.
Mm.
When we take a feedback from communication, the next thing which arises is feedback. So if they're doing a good job, we tell them they're doing a good job, we recognize them. But at the same time, if we see that corrections are required, and we also tell them the corrections are required. And at the same time, we allow them to give us a very positive and a free and frank feedback. Because we've seen, in fact, I've also seen many times in the organizations I've worked with, even in my present organization, there are times that we have been able to make major changes in the way we work, or we've been able to inculcate some very good practices based on the feedback which we have got from the employees. So it's not a one-way communication. It's not a one-way feedback which we say that we only tell them that you're doing a good job, this is where you need to be corrected, or this is where you need to improve. At the same time, we also need to allow them to tell us that where we need to improve as an organization, where we need to improve, and what are we lacking. So, and that is exact. We will not be, as a management, we will not be able to sometimes find out exactly what we are lacking. There might be a biased view which we say that, okay, as an organization, as a management, sometimes we also tend to think that, okay, what I'm doing is correct, what I'm doing is the best. But it is the employees who can give us a correct feedback and tell us that, okay, this is where you need a correction, or this is where we can improve on. So,
Okay.
one of the most important factors again here, apart from these three, is accountability. Whenever we are allowing someone, giving someone the independence, or we are wanting someone to perform, and we are wanting a high performance environment and atmosphere in the organization, we need to have everyone held accountable and take ownership of whatever he or she is doing. When I
Yes.
take a particular assignment, I need to be accountable for it. I need to take the ownership for it. Good or bad, I am to be blamed. Good or bad, I take the credit or the discredit for it. So there has to be a full-time accountability, and there has to be an ownership which has to be inculcated in the people. Lack of accountability is actually something which leads to hurting the performance, which leads to uh, the performance being impacted.
Mm.
Then again, there are certain factors, small factors like learning. It has to be a continuous learning curve. I will not be able to go to the top level of my performance if I start feeling that I know all. There's nothing that I do not know. So it has to be a continuous learning process each and every day. As I progress in my work, I need to learn. I need to learn and pick up things which probably I do not know, the new developments in the marketplace, the new developments in my sphere of work. What can I do to improve my work? What can I do to improve the performance of my team, of myself, on the entire organization? And when I say learning also comes with another factor, which is risk taking. I have to be capable of taking risks, and when I say risks, it can be calculated risks. And when and continuous learning will automatically lead to your risk taking factors. And the most important factor here, and which is very important, without which I don't think any of these will work, is perfect collaboration. When I'm working with the team, all the team members, the team and the management, the team and the team leader, they should have a perfect collaboration within them. They should collaborate and work. So this is where you say, like what you have correctly said, that instead of competing with each other as five team members or five different departments in the organization, instead of competing with each other, we need to collaborate with each other and work. We need to work as one organization with one goal. If it's all the different departments, all the different departments of the organization start collaborating and working with each other, then there is nothing which can stop high performance in the organization.
Yes, I completely agree with the feedback loop which you said. Right now, I think a lot of organizations are also pitching to the newcomers who are coming in as learning as the USP. Like we help you learn so that you can shift from one department to the other department also. Like it's very open in collaboration. Say a developer can shift from, say, field A to field B, or a sales can shift to marketing. So all these shifts are also happening. So that is what I
So
think.
in fact, to add to what you said, a living example is me myself.
Yeah.
After spending 25 years in sales and business development, I have been now a successful leader in HR and talent management.
Yes, yes, that is that is one of the examples which we can already see. So, Faisal, what are your thoughts on this? Vishwa has very profound thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on the cultural shifts organizations should embrace to foster high performance without like cutthroat competition or office politics, so to speak?
Yeah, rightly added by Viswa. However, I have few additional points to add here. Firstly, it's a very important question that fostering a high performance the without fostering cutthroat competition, according to me, requires organization to focus on three major aspects. Firstly, collaboration. Second, employee well-being, and a supportive work environment. And to drill this, there are key cultural shifts that can help us achieve these balances. First, to start with collaboration with over competition.
Hmm.
So we need to encourage team to work together towards a common goal, foster the environment that values collective success rather than individual achievement alone. It's important that we have the individual goals. However, when a team is working towards a common goal, there is a high chance of success, not just as a team, but as a business and at an organizational level as well. So that's very important. Second point, which is already mentioned by Biswa, is communication. Definitely, this is one of the very key and important aspect. However, I would like to add a little point over here is it basically helps build trust and minimize the misunderstanding. And this is the area where majority of people lack, employees, leaders, etc. So it is very important that we establish open and transparent communication channels. We need to encourage employees to share ideas, concerns, feedback. It will help us eventually to get that collaborative work environment. Another point that I would like to add here is focus on employee development and well-being. Very important, we need to invest in consistent continuous learning. Along with that, there should be some initiatives that needs to be taken wherein an employee feel get work life balance and feel motivated to work. So, and some initiative wherein he feel mentally peace and relaxed to get started and perform better in his or her role. So that's one point. Another point, and yes, again, balanced recognition and rewards. It's very important we balance that out, not just focusing on to an individual pursue. However, to get that collaborative environment, we need to like also inform team about the value of teamwork, and accordingly we need to overcome this competitive environment atmosphere.
So, Faiza,
Finally,
putting on this question, like,
yeah.
as HR professionals or like people success experts, so how
Hmm.
can we contribute to creating such a culture where like performance thrives in a collaborative manner rather than being competitive in nature? Ki department one should go and department two should not, and it should be collaborative so that everything like boils down to a common goal. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I would. So, as you said, like HR plays a very important and a crucial role in getting this collaborative environment rather than a competitive one. Firstly, what we need to do is define and communicate cultural values. So, when we need to clearly define and communicate our organizational values, then emphasize on collaboration and teamwork, not just saying it or communicating it will definitely help. However, ensuring these has been integrated in the company's vision and mission is also one of the important aspects. So that's one. Another point is like align performance, or the key element is align performance metrics that has a collaborative KPIs in it added. So we need to review, revise, and revisit the performance metrics is to include such criteria that measure the collaborative and team success, not just focusing on the individual one. So when we have these things, the employee will understand, and he or she will feel how important team collaboration or working together is. So this sends a clear message to the team that they this aspect is important. And then also promote diversity and inclusion. As we see, it's a trend, and we are living in an era wherein diversity and inclusion has been at the top. Each and every organization is looking forward to it and kind of implementing it. So it's equally important for us implement initiates initiatives that promote the diversity and inclusion. So yeah, these are the few points that I would like to that I have added
So,
that can help
Vishwa,
bring
what is
the.
your very good insight, Faisa. So, what are your thoughts on how like people success in HR can come in and help in collaboration rather than competition?
Yeah, the Faiza has actually been given has given us a very comprehensive thought process, and which is. But and I would like to add a few things here. I think the first thing which comes in here when I see as a role of a HR in building up a collaborative environment is the first stage which comes in is when we select the right kind of people. There has to be the right select mix,
Hmm.
and we have to have the right mix of people so that they can complement each other's skills and abilities, and they can complement each other's knowledge levels. That is one. And secondly, I also find one more a major role which HR needs to play here is in conflict resolution. There will be conflicts which arise when high performing teams operate. There would be conflicts among the team members. There would be conflicts among different operating teams which are working together. Here, when I say conflict resolution, it is not to be seen in a different way. That here, the role of the HR is to stop conflict coming up, or a conflict arising in such a situation is not a negative situation, but it's a positive situation. How we can prove it is that when there's a conflict of opinions or conflict of ideas, it is not that I'm disputing some other person, but it is that I'm trying to express something which is new to the other person. So the conflict resolution here will be basically to ensure there is a free flow of communication, to intervene as a mediator and get the conflict resolved by saying that this conflict which has arisen is to be settled for the mutual benefit of the entire team,
Hmm.
and probably show to people that yes, what has arisen here is something which you might be saying that this is one way of doing it. I say that this is one more way of doing it.
Yeah.
No harm in exploring it and seeing it instead of directly saying that no, I don't think this is possible, or I think you are not. This is not what we are. So, and it is in fact conflict which is a positive conflict here. So the HR has a major role to play in bringing out the task conflicts, and by resolving the task conflicts properly, it is actually seen that when there are conflicts arising within team members or conflicts arising within different teams which work in the organization, it is
Hmm.
actually improving the performance, the overall performance of the organization, because new ideas come in through that. There can be something unknown paths are tread in that,
Hmm.
probably some path which we have not tread earlier, or which we have thought that is not suitable. We are treading that path due to that conflict which has come in. That
Okay.
so that is one. And they can also, by the one process of conflict resolution is as an HR, so we should be also able to bring out bring out the culture, and also make people understand the behavioral styles of our team members. Probably that can be done through assessments, that can be done through different workshops, where I, as a team member, understand the behavioral style or the working style or the psychology of my co-members, of my co-team members. This is where the HR plays a very major role here. And of course, like what we have mentioned in the earlier steps also, collaboration is always required. And another thing which is most important is there are two things where I see an HR playing a major role. One is, like I said, building the right mix. Secondly, is assisting the new members in getting acquainted with the culture of the organization, in getting acquainted to perform better. And also at the same time, when I have different teams working, it is as a HR, it is the role of the HR, the major role of the HR or a responsibility of the HR is to advise the management as to which team is to be used where. How do we utilize the teams in the proper departments, and to bring out the best efficiency in them, to make them high performing. We should be able to, as an HR, I should be able to, in a capacity, to tell my management that this team needs to be put here, or this team needs to be working here, or these two teams need to be working together. So that is how we should be doing it.
Okay. So Biswa, there are like newest concepts which came in, which has been modified a lot, like say
Right.
employee well-being, different aspects of it, and plus work-life balance. We have seen comments being made about say 40-hour comments. Many good comments have been
Right.
made. So how
Right.
does employee well-being and work-life balance contribute to the development of high performance culture in today's work environment? So today's work environment is like a combination of many cultures. Like there is a gig economy coming in, there are young folks coming in who use a lot of technologies, and then there is a management coming in which wants to scale very fast, very quickly. So all these things have impact on employee well-being and the work-life balance of the people who are contributing. So how do you think like these concepts shape up in today's work environment?
It is a very important concept actually, and in fact, it is directly linked to my productivity. If I say my performance and productivity, work-life balance is something which is directly linked to my performance and productivity. If I have a perfect work-life balance, and this might differ, it's a very subjective concept. Some people, for me, work-life balance might be something, and for you, it might be something else. But there are certain standards which we need to date. Like when I'm working, one is I will definitely need my breaks. I'm not a monotonous machine that I keep on working. I'm not a robot. I'm a human being. So I will need, and I will have my moods, whims and fancies. I'll have my moods. Today I might be going through certain things in my personal life. It might affect if I'm not getting that particular space. So one is, yes, definitely my breaks, my recharge is required. And secondly, one thing which most of the organizations have today come up with is the flexi hours. So
Hmm.
way back, 10 years back or 15 years back, when we were working in organizations, there used to be timings. You have to reach the office at 9 o'clock, leave at 5:30, or you have to reach the office at 10 o'clock and leave at 6:30 or 7. And you have, okay, now that concept of working hours, logging in the required number of 8 hours or 9 hours is still there. But the organizations don't say that, okay, we work 9 to 6, so you'll be working 9 to 6 only. Apart, unless it is, see, in our organization, my kind of industry where I'm running a call center, a BPO, the shift timings would be important. There would be people logging in, but for different factors in my organization also, in for different departments where I'm not taking a customer call, or when I'm not talking on a when I'm not sitting on a normal shift, I need to put in 9 hours. That's fine. It can be 9 to 6. It can be 10 to 7. It can be 11 to 8. Today, if I'm having some certain amount of work, I cannot drop into office at 10 o'clock, which is my usual login time. I come in at 11. I prefer to, okay, I decide that, okay, I'm coming in at 11. So instead of walking out of the office at 7 o'clock, I walk out at 8 o'clock. Or like what organizations do in what Feza is doing today. It's a hybrid decide. So today I have some assignment. I decide to work from home, and I don't feel like I'm not feeling very well, but I'm not totally unwell. I can be able to work, but I don't feel like traveling to office today. So I have that option that, okay, I can opt for work from home today. That's something which I see, and at the same time, I can give a little bit of time to my family also if required. And the late hours of working, the extended hours, those things are actually now gone. They're no more there. So you need to have and if I have a perfect work-life balance and I'm mentally free and I'm mentally relaxed to work, it is definitely going to improve my productivity, number one. And I will not be under stress. It's reducing the stress for me. The work stress, the culture, that this thing which is there. And when I'm having work stress, it automatically leads to my ill health also. It will affect my health. It will affect my. It can also affect my way of thinking. I can think negative. I can start. It can lead to irritation unnecessarily, and definitely it will be leading to my satisfaction. I'll start loving my job if I have a proper work my life balance. And the most important thing which comes out of this is, if as an organization I'm allowing my teams to maintain the work life balance properly, then I am definitely ensuring one thing, that is employee retention. My attritions go down, my retention level goes very up, my employees are happy, they want to stay with me and work with me and grow with me. That is one of the major, I think that is one of the biggest this thing which happens. And another thing which comes out of this is that the word spreads, because today we have reviews, we have people working, attending seminars, we have people networking. So each and every organization, when they talk, like today we are sitting here, Faiza discusses about what a good culture is there in Deutsche Bank, and I tell what kind of best practices we follow. So we meet people, we network, and this word spreads that okay, this is the kind of culture which is there in this particular organization, and this is where we can maintain a perfect work-life balance. So that will help you in a big way to retain, to attract top talents from the industry to come and join you. So it is employee retention as well as attracting new talent,
Yes.
which comes out of maintaining a perfect work, allowing your employees to maintain a
Your
perfect.
brand, like it helps your employer brand also.
Yes,
Like
it gives you a very high employee branding.
yes, yes, yes. So Faiza, what are your thoughts on this? Like how like concepts like employee well-being and work-life balance contribute to the development of high performance culture in like today's work environment.
Yeah. So when I feel when an organization prioritize the health, happiness, and work-life balance of the employees eventually take care of the organization and their success. So this can be done in a several ways. Firstly, like we can like increase employee engagement and enhanced productivity. How we do that? Employees who are like who feel supported in their well-being and have their healthy work-life balance are more likely to be engaged in their work. So engaged employees are generally are more committed, motivated, and kind of recharged outside work. When they come back to their roles, they perform better. They contribute higher. So that's one. Another point about attraction and retention of talents. Already Biswa has covered it, so I would not like to add more on that. But one point, which is again an essential key element, is adaptability to change. So employees with good well-being are more resilient to adapt to change. In today's fast-paced work environment, adaptability is crucial for high performance, and well-supported employees are better equipped to navigate and thrive in changing circumstances. So, according to me, employee well-being and work-life balance are fundamental elements for development of high-performance culture. So, prioritizing on these aspects really can impact positive, supportive, and sustainable work environment, contributing to the success of the organization as a whole.
Okay. Okay. So further continuing with this, like how can like human resource or people success can adopt to nurture and recognize talent in a way that it helps to foster their high performance cultures.
Okay, yeah. Another very nice question of nurturing and recognizing talents are really, again, a critical aspect of building a high performance culture within an organization. And there are several strategies that HR can adapt to bring in this kind of culture. So, to start with, individual development plan, which is IDPS. collaborate with employees to create their personalized individual plans. So rather than me imposing something to an employee or my subordinate, won't work that much if either we sit with them, understand what is that their career aspiration, what is that they are looking forward, and we sit with them and we outline these career goals or paths, this area and the areas of improvement. These steps will help achieve those goals. Then
Yeah.
another thing is succession planning. So it is important that we develop and maintain a robust succession planning program, identifying potential employees and prepare them for the leadership. So this not only just will help us identify like a good performer, etc., but also it will help us build the pipeline for upcoming leaders in the organization. Then
Okay.
another point to add is the performance management system. We need to, again, as I said, we need to implement effective performance system. Like we need to revisit and reevaluate these important metrics, where whatever are there, so that it to excel the strength of an employee better. Then professional development opportunity, definitely a key very important element is this. When an employee is given an opportunity to learn, to develop, the an employee will excel and grow, would like to stay in an organization for longer, because he or she is heard, is valued, is given an opportunity to grow with the organization. So, and clear career path communication, as communication is coming in each and every question, I feel right now. So because it's one of that essential aspect, unless and until the things are not rightly communicated, uh, we would falter. However, if it is communicated properly, things can fall in place and help us get the culture that we are looking forward for. So by implementing these strategies, HR can definitely effectively nurture and recognize the talent, creating a high performance culture, then fostering like employee growth, satisfaction, and overall organizational success.
Okay. Yeah. Very, very valid point. So, Vishwa, my next question to you. So, beyond this traditional
We
KPI,
have lost Pfizer.
no, no, she's there. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. Vishwa, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So my next question it will be like, beyond these traditional KPIs, how should companies measure the success of their like high performance culture initiatives? Like there are like various initiatives launched which uh, like for upgradation of folks who are working in say department A, and
Right,
then making them adapt to like conditions, and then building the A team out there.
right,
So
right,
which can help them to crack into a market which is extremely difficult.
right,
Uh, so how this cannot be measured by simple KPIs which we do every day around, right?
right,
So
right.
do you think there will be some other measure of success of this high performance culture, as companies are going through like a phase where they're like growing like breakneck speed, and they need individuals who can take it up there, right?
Yes, definitely we can do that. I think one thing which can be done is an ongoing check-in workplaces, with ongoing check-ins workplace in terms of workplace service. We can have continuous surveys in the workplace among the employees to find out how things can be better. And again, as I mentioned earlier, a two-way feedback system. And apart from that, apart from the KPIs, I think we should be setting the measurable OKRs. When I say OKRs, it is objectives and key results. When we are setting up a KPI, we should be also setting up something called an OKR. We have an objective set and a measurable key result set, which can be measured. And
Okay.
of course, one more very important thing here which we can do is probably we can perform a skill gap analysis.
Achha. Okay.
Where are the gaps lying? Where do we lack? What more to be done? And of course, most of the and then I think which most of the almost all organizations do today the 360-degree review, a performance review, which is a 360-degree performance review, and we can also do one more thing, which can be that we can highlight the higher performing employee achievements which are worth celebrating and set it as an example to the rest of the team members so that they are inspired, motivated, and they also see that, okay, this is being highlighted, this person is being recognized, and he's being brought into a different level, he's put it at an elevated level. I also would like to go there tomorrow. If say, Shwarbhujit is there, even I would like to be there tomorrow. And I would like also the management or my HR head coming and telling that this is what he's done and this is where he's excelled. So that is definitely one thing which we can do. And there are, of course, certain other things, small things we can help, like we need to do a culture analysis also. Like, what kind of a culture am I working in today? Is this culture actually nurturing the high performance here, or do I need to make certain cultural changes? So cultural analysis is also very much important, and it has to be an ongoing process. Today I might be adopting a different culture which is being adopted by my people, but tomorrow there might be certain changes which have come in which I have not observed. So a cultural analysis has to be done on a regular ongoing basis, which needs to do that. And along with the cultural analysis, I also need to integrate data. So it has to be a data-based, data-driven cultural analysis which has to be there to support in this thing. So just by saying that I make a analytical survey and say that, okay, this was my culture, this has been done, but it has to be supported and driven by data. Whatever analysis I'm doing, whatever analytics I'm putting across to change the culture or to bring about, to improve the performance in my culture, it has to be a completely data-driven setup which has to be there. And in that same case, we have to, again, like I had said earlier, in the entire process, one thing which is very important is empowering the employee. The employee needs to be empowered, and he needs to be empowered also, and he needs to be also supported and facilitated to take on the ongoing changes which are happening in my work culture, in my workplace, in my this thing. Probably, like most of the thing what we're doing today is to improve effectivity of our like improve performance of my employees. Organizations have started using AI. Artificial intelligence is being used in a big way to boost performances, to improve performances. It is cutting down work time. It is cutting down the tedious work of going through and analyzing a lot of things. It is bringing in a lot of changes like that. So empowering them, training them to use this stuff. I cannot say that, okay, I'm introducing AI tools today in the organization, but my people do not know how to use it. So before, when I take certain things, before setting up the KPIs or before finding out the performance or before judging their performance, if I'm introducing something new, I need to ensure that all my team, my entire team, is equipped to use that particular tool which I'm getting in. They should be trained first. They should feel comfortable in using it, and then I get that and use it. And it has to be an ongoing process. That today team A learns it, tomorrow team B integrates into it, and so it's traditional KPIs is something which is always there, and we will not be able to actually judge performance through that. Like what I said, that it has to be an objective and the key results which can be measurable. And one most important thing is that we need to set, when we are doing a goal setting also for the employees, we need to do SMART goals, something which is achievable, something which is measurable, and something which they do not feel that, okay, this has been thrust on us. So there has to be mutual discussion, there has to be continuous discussion, there has to be continuous collaboration. Like that word collaboration has to come in here in all the discussions which we are having here. All the questions actually you're asking are very pertinent, and they all lead to one thing, that at the end of the day, to achieve anything, the most important thing required is collaboration, empowerment and collaboration. That is what is required here. So I think these are something which can be, these methods evaluated to go along with the normal KPIs which we have, the traditional KPIs which we have.
Okay. Great answer. I think which a lot of insights for our so who are listening to this. So I will come to Faiza for the next one. So Faiza, according to you, what emerging trends do you foresee in the realm of building and maintaining high performance culture? So there are a lot of trends coming in. So what are the key trends? Like your pick, a couple of trends which you want to showcase.
Okay, so yeah, it is the key trends that are coming in. So basically, I feel that retention is one of the key retention rates. So once we like kind of monitor or employee turnover rates, a decrease in I mean, when we monitor and when we see the graph, if there is a decrease in the turnover, especially among the high performance employee, can indicate that the organization is successful in their culture. And as we are talking about the collaboration, so that is really helpful there. So that's one trend, and another trends which is happening in the performance or collaboration is there is a lot of gaga is happening about the chat gpt, ai, and machine learning that we all are hearing now. So this is another that trend that is happening. Then the another one more key is the diversity and inclusion. So these are the few trends, couple of trends that's there. And all these trends basically helps us to get the collaborative work culture, how to implement their after show strategy, and leadership effectiveness is one of it strategy that will help us get to this kind of performance or collaborative high performance culture. So if we need to like kind of evaluate the effectiveness of an organization, use a feedback like feedback from employees and performance metrics. This help us gauge like how well the leaders and are fostering the high performance. And yes, benchmarking like against the industry standard, this is also again an important key. Not just we are working in an organization, however it is very important to keep an eye what's happening around, how so that we do not lack into those expertise or the competitions that is coming in, and but we excel and understand and excel. So these are the few trends I would say.
Great,
Yeah.
great. So, lovely questions which we have prepared for you, and lovely insights from them. So, right now we move on to the next section, which is the audience questions. So, audience question. I have the first audience question, which is for Feza. For organizations that are building high performance team, what's your one practical first step they should take?
Okay. Yeah. One practical step is like define the team's purpose
Hmm.
by setting the clear goals and objectives. So this is very important. Then we also need to like kind of establish, and this will happen through establishing a communication, clear communication that we have already spoken about a lot. So this is the one practical approach or a first step that we can take, defining and defining what exactly the team purpose is, which matches with the organization mission and vision definitely, and help us climb the ladder of for the in our career path as well. So this would be my first step, I would say.
Okay. So the next question is for Biswa. So Biswa, how can individuals in high performance culture, okay, maintain a healthy work-life balance while meeting ambitious professional goals?
Oh, okay, very pertinent question. I think I will need to here. Actually, the organizations need to play a major role here. So, if I need to maintain a work-life balance, working in a very ambitious project, or when I'm working in a organization in an environment where there is high pressures for improvement in my for performances, and I'm performing in a very high performing teams. So there are certain things which need to be done in that. One is definitely like what Faiza had mentioned earlier, also in her in the previous question, that we should be also looking at the employee well-being, which is very important. The employee well-being is very important, and There is, of course, recognition which is always there, that has to be given. And apart from, see, we have those normal perks which happen everywhere, where people see that, oh, we have a very nice snack bar in the office, or I get my breaks, so I have a nice cafeteria where I can go and have the best of food, or have the best of, probably I have a Starbucks which has opened up a counter in my cafeteria where I have the best of coffee. That all is fine, but apart from that, I think we should today, for these employees, where we need them to perform high and to perform at their best and be motivated and driving the force all the time, we need to go a step ahead. Probably I would say something, suggest something like a, probably a gym membership, or give them a vacation, a full paid vacation, where they go and spend time with their family for around a week or so in a year. And certain things like this. And also, apart from that, we always foster that. And yes, the biggest part is that there are two main things, that they should be, to maintain their performance, to grow in their performance. We should be always facilitating them to continuously learn. So sponsoring them to participate in workshops, webinars, seminars, and taking part in discussions, and even having them probably inside the organization. I can probably have a webinar wherein I have different departments participating and contributing. Maybe the HR has something to say which can add to my performance. The admin has something to say which can add to my performance. The IT can add in something which will improve my performance in the organization. So external as well as internal discussions, communications, seminars, meetings, and of
Okay.
course the most important thing here is the appreciation.
Hmm.
Well done, keep it up, more to come, is something which an employee will always appreciate hearing. And I think these are certain basic things which we should be doing.
Okay, great. So I think the audience have got their answers, very insightful answers, very detailed one at that. So now, right now, this section is what we do for our candidates or our job seekers, so that they can get
Mhm.
their dream jobs. So the first question I have for Feza, and then I have for Biswa. The first question for Feza is: in your perspective, what can candidates do to stand out when they're applying for roles in companies that value continuous learning and development? So anything candidate can do to stand out from the crowd when applying for companies who value continuous learning and development.
Yes, absolutely. So the very first thing is like clearly explaining about your skill sets or the experience that you have. So clearly defining that what you have done or how do you stand out if there is any particular circumstances that you have come across in your work culture or in your work. So how did you tackle that, and what was your how did you stand out at that particular point in time? So you need to highlight that in this fast-paced learning environment. As we see, there are lot of people, lot of employees with the similar roles or with the similar skill set. How do we stand out is definitely clearly defining, as for point one I said, defining about your expertise and the skill sets. Second thing is how the achievements or the recognitions that you have received and showcase that. And then lastly, very important is continuous learning. So this will help us in the fast-paced learning in the environment, like the work culture environment. It will help you stand out from others in and take the opportunity that way. Yeah.
Okay. Great tips for candidates. Biswa, the question for you is: what key mistakes job seekers or candidates should avoid, and what is that crucial action they should take when targeting high performance positions?
Okay. Very, very pertinent question. In fact, most of the people do this. The first thing is that I think the first mistake which we should avoid doing is walking into a discussion for a job, or walking into a discussion for an appointment without researching about the organization I'm going for. I should be well versed with what the organization does, what their values are, what kind of, probably go through the reviews which people are, reviews might not be always proper, but I do my research on the organization, actually what they do, since when are they there, and what are the, what basically are they doing, how have they grown. And at the same time, there are certain things which we tend to say that, okay, we should also show that we are flexible. Tricky questions are asked. Even we as HRs, being a talent management professional, I also ask start taking interviews. We would put tricky questions like, would you prefer working from home or working from office? This is basically to find out the attitude of the people, whether he would be willing to work permanently out of office or a hybrid or this thing. Some people would say that, okay, some people at times say that this is some people at times say, okay, the smart people who say either way is okay with me. I can work from office, I can work from home. A mix of both is okay. Either one is okay. Some people come up and say, "Oh, I would prefer working from home. I would prefer working from office. I would prefer." So you have to be flexible when you're answering. The biggest mistake we commit is when we try to give up open-ended. Don't give a closed-end this thing. Leave it open-ended. Okay, I'm open to both. If I'm showing that I'm closed, are you willing to relocate? Here I see the biggest mistake which people commit is when somebody asks them, "Are you open to relocate?" I would consider if the package is decent, if the salary, if the CTC offered is decent, if I get a proper hike, then probably I would look at relocating. Certain things like this. So you should never be. And secondly, one thing we should always do is you should show your self worth, and don't show a desperation. I might be in a situation where I do not have a job in the last 6 months due to X, Y, Z reasons, but I am facing a difficult time. But I will not go and exhibit that in an interview that I'm desperate. The moment you start showing desperations, what will happen is you might get the job, but you will get the job in the terms and conditions of the employer. There are certain things which you would want, which you will not get. Probably you would have gotten if you would have not shown that desperation. So one is you need to do your research. Do not go half baked information. If you do not know something, clearly be transparent and say that, I'm sorry, sir, I'm sorry, ma'am, or I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware of this. Trying to build up stories or trying to say that, okay, I think this is this or this is that. You should be clear, transparent. If you be crisp and clear, if you know something, answer it. If you don't know something, say that I don't know it. Nobody is going, and it is appreciated. I do not know it, but yes, I can learn it. I can know about it. I can definitely do it. So, and show your self trust, and don't hide any information which is relevant for your.
Okay, understood. Great. So a lot of things to think for the candidates, and a lot of things to think for our speakers as well. So the last round, which we come to the rapid fire round. So rapid fire round is a round where I will ask you a few questions, and you have to quickly answer them. So I'll start with Feza, and then I'll move to Biswa. So the first question for Feza is morning energy boost, yoga or power run?
Yoga.
Ideal vacation, beach resort or a mountain retreat?
Mountain between.
Leadership style, mentor or coach?
Coach.
Okay. Team bonding, a brainstorming session or a team lunch?
Team lunch.
Innovation in HR. So do you think tech-driven solutions or the traditional methods should be innovated?
Sorry, I missed the question, Sarvajit.
Innovation in HR, tech-driven solutions, or do you prefer traditional methods? Anything?
Tech driven.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So then I move on to Biswa. So Biswa, first thing in the morning, check emails or meditate?
Meditate.
Okay. Preferred workplace, open office or a quiet cabin?
I prefer an open office.
Decision making, data analysis, using a lot of data, or intuitive thinking?
Intuitive thinking.
Okay. Team feedback, schedule reviews or instant feedback.
Instant feedback.
Okay. The last one, after work relaxation, gym session or evening walk.
Evening walk.
Okay, so great, great having you guys, and that here we come to the end of the session. It was great having you. Very interesting questions, a lot of questions from us, from the candidates, from the recruiters as well, and a little bit about yourself from the rapid fire. So hope you loved the session, you liked the session. If you have any feedback, let me know. So thank you so much, folks, for coming in and joining. With such a hard schedule to maintain. So thank you, Biswa. Thank you, Faiza, for coming in.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Sarvajit. It was a
for
pleasure. It was a pleasure
yeah.
talking to you.
Yeah, and thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Sarvajit. Thank you, Biswa.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
audience.
Bye.